On the Communicators, interviews from the Congressional Internet Caucus 13th Annual Technology Policy Exhibition. Every year, this event highlights emerging Internet technologies that shape congressional policymaking. It took place in the Hart Senate Office Building in January. We'll begin with remarks from Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont, the caucus co-chair.
I couldn't help but think that I come through here and I'm reminded by my staff I'm supposed to be back on the floor, but I look at all the various things being displayed, and if I had my 11-year-old grandson here with me, he would not let me out. Some of you heard the story about when he was 5 and wanted to get on an interactive computer program, and we could draw pictures and play games, so I called it up. He said, "Yeah, that's the one." Takes 5 years old, takes the mouse out of my hand, says, "I have to take over now, it gets very complicated." So but I think I am still, at least from the time we started this, you referenced, Jerry, we did have senators who were not quite sure what that computer screen was and why it couldn't get the news, and we actually went in and showed them, yes, they could do that too. But now we have 150 members of Congress, both parties, 200 diverse organizations on the caucus advisory board. I think that that's great. I think the Internet's been a vital tool to protect our rights and freedoms, the human rights of people everywhere. Look how in some of the countries where speech has been censored and the Internet has allowed speech to get through. And last week, the Secretary of State boldly reconfirmed and reaffirmed our nation's deep commitment to openness and freedom on the net. Do I grind my teeth sometimes when I see things blasting me on the Internet? Maybe for a second, but then I think, thank goodness, because that means that people can feel free to speak about whomever they want. And we have to do that, the government has to do that, American businesses have to do that. I would hope businesses would work together to promote global Internet freedom. You promote global Internet freedom, you're also promoting freedom itself. And I think that's something we should never lose sight of. And we have to figure the best way to protect our nation's cybersecurity. Not just the security of our businesses, but of our government. A lot of businesses here have faced attempts to attack them, either to get their designs, their work product, but the U.S. government does every day. And we have to, and we have criminals who know how easy it is to use the Internet for crime. When I was a prosecutor, and somebody would do a $20,000 bank robbery, and that was a big deal. But we would catch them usually within a few miles of the bank. Now you do much, much more, and you do it perhaps from even another country away. We have to guard about that. In my home state of Vermont, we established a national center for the study of counterterrorism and cybercrime at Norwich University. Some of that's funded by the Department of Justice, and I would encourage anybody who's interested to go up there and see it. It's a kind of public-private partnership that can help all of us. As the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, worked last Congress to enact the Identity Theft Enforcement and Restitution Act. It's a new anti-cybercrime law, and next month, I believe it is, the next month we're going to hold hearings on that to examine other ways to fight cybercrime. So there's a lot to be done. And I realize I only touched on a couple things. I'm committed, as long as I'm here, to keep the Internet open, to keep it as a valuable tool. But I also want to make sure that those who want to damage our country or industries, those who want to commit crimes on it, that we're able to stop them too. And you're the folks with the expertise, so we get it right. So thank you, Jerry. Thank you very much.
Why are Points of Light and Causes on Facebook here today?
Well, we've partnered together to build an online volunteer center that is completely integrated with Facebook and allows people, as they are searching for and signing up for volunteer opportunities, to share that opportunity with all of their friends on Facebook.
How does it work?
So the basic concept is when you're looking for a volunteer opportunity on the Causes/Hands of Light Volunteer Center, you'll be immediately shown a list of volunteer opportunities in your location. So we can tell from your IP address where you're logging in. So if you are here in Washington, we will tell you here are all the volunteer opportunities in the local area. If you have any friends who have signed up, we can actually tell you that, because this is all based on your Facebook networks, and so you can see what your friends are doing. If you want to sign up for a particular event, you will insert your information, which ties into a back-end system that Hands-On has already built for managing its volunteers, and then you're prompted to share that opportunity with your friends and say, hey, I'm going to go to this site, I'm going to go to a soup kitchen on Saturday, and you guys should all come with me. There are 5 slots left. Hurry up and sign up. And really the idea behind it is that this should increase the number of people doing volunteer work, should increase the actual turnout on the day that they've signed up to do something, because they know that their friends are going to be there with them, and hopefully it will increase repeat engagement and get more people coming back to sites to do volunteer work, and make it a more social experience for where people are going as groups of friends to do really important work.
How did Points of Light get involved in this?
So Points of Light is a organization that encourages folks to volunteer. We inspire, equip, and mobilize folks to get out and volunteer and make a difference in their community. And business unit of Points of Light is actually Hands-On Network, which partnered with Causes on Facebook. And what Hands-On Network does is operate 250 different affiliates throughout the country, who all have their own ways of recruiting volunteers and posting their opportunities and telling their friends about it. So we thought, what better way, use technology that already exists and tap into the social networking that's going on anyway, and have people sign up via a cause on Facebook and recruit their friends, tell them that they're volunteering, and really make volunteering cool.
And why are you here demonstrating this for members of Congress and staffers?
I can take that one. Essentially, we want them to know that their constituents are out there. They care about a lot of different issues. They want to volunteer. They want to make a difference in their community. And just because they don't have a chance to come here, to the Hill to talk with them every day, or even once a week or a month, that they're out there, that they're making a difference, and that all the members have to do is check out Facebook to see what their constituents are out there doing. So, pretty easy.
Is there any potential federal money involved?
Not that we know of right now. There is this Social Innovation Fund, which is going on, and there are organizations vying for money to further their technology and to make their programs bigger and better. So there's a possibility, maybe in the future. Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What is QME.gov?
So QME.gov is a speech-based application where it's a one-stop shop for government-related questions. Imagine that someone has a question about government-related questions, whether it's federal or state, healthcare-related or education-related. Where would they go today? They're carrying a mobile phone. There is no one place to go. And we've created QME.gov. It's a prototype. We've pulled data so that any question you have that's government-related, there's one place to go. And we will give you the answer. We will not try to give you pages to read. We will simply give you that direct answer.
How do you get from prototype to reality?
So there's certainly many components that have to come together to scale a service like this, to make it a reality. We actually partnered with a startup company called Cha-Cha, a few months back, and we rolled out a consumer version of a system like this, where consumers can ask any question. It's available on the iPhone store. You can ask any question. You can type it or you can speak it. We use AT&T speech recognition Watson technology, and then we would use Chacha's database, where they have acquired over 400 million questions and answers. So that consumer version is already out. It's a prototype. It's available to consumers today to download and play with. The government version, it's still in a prototype mode, and what we're looking for right now is government customers or ones who are interested in the technology of helping their to bring that sort of information out to their society. So we're looking for partners right now to work with to bring something like that out. What is colon cancer? You can see how fast it was. I asked the question, what's colon cancer? And it gave me several sort of possible answers to this. I don't know if you're able to see this on the screen, but basically it walks you through what colon cancer is, how you basically get colon cancer. Now, even though I only asked the question, what's colon cancer, I also got other very related questions to that. For example, this one, it says, what are the stages in colon cancer? And this is a very relevant type of question to something I'm looking for. Let me try a couple of those, and just to give you an idea of how it works, how fast it is. How do I apply for Medicare? Okay, so you can see a very similar thing.
So why bring it here to the Congressional Internet Caucus Expo?
There's several reasons for that. One is that this is a place about how the internet is revolutionizing the way we access information and we interact with each other. And this is truly an application where it really simplifies the way people access information wherever they are. I could be in China and I have a question about Medicare Part D, and I can basically ask that question and get the answer to my question basically wherever you are. So that's one important aspect. The second part of this is that simplifying the way consumers access that information. At the moment today, there is no really one place for people to get information. There are many places to get information. And to get one place, it's very hard basically to do that. So we sort of brought it here as a way to sort of expose it to the masses here as to how can we bring information together and allow our consumers, our people out there, to have a one-stop place where they can access the information. The third one is that from an AT&T point of view, we believe in an open internet. And we believe that by having technology like this that sits in our cloud, in our network, and exposing it to the masses, the technology here doesn't have to come all from AT&T. You can have a technology that can be complementary to this, that could sit in our cloud, and you can make it available to the masses. Again, this idea of, as you heard earlier, about open internet, that's exactly what we are shooting for.
What is the Entertainment Software Association?
We're the U.S. trade association that represents the computer and video game industry. Right now we have about 30 members, and they're all game publishers. 3 of them are console makers that you can see behind me: Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo.
And so, what are you showing?
What am I showing? So today we're showing our what our latest consoles are: the Nintendo Wii, the Sony PlayStation 3, and the Microsoft Xbox 360. These are the latest consoles out on the market. They also have handheld devices, each of these companies. We didn't bring them today, but we wanted to show, we wanted you guys to see the latest consoles and what controllers we're using with them. The Wii is really, it's a great console because it has a motion censored controller, and they're all wireless, encouraging activity for all game players. We've been a member of the Internet Caucus for quite a few years now, and we just like to show everyone what some of our latest technology is, and also let them know how people are placing games in sort of their daily life. It's not just for entertainment purposes anymore. they're also being used for medical training, being used for fitness, education, rehabilitation. There's some really wonderful uses now, so we try and encourage that. That's why we're here today.
Okay, what is this map that we're looking at?
Well, over the past 3 years, Connected Tennessee has been mapping broadband and where is broadband available in Tennessee and where it is not. We have had ways to display it through PDF maps and other online tools, but folks have asked us a lot of different ways. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I look at it in this way? Well, Broadband Stat allows us to show the data in various formats based on what your needs are. For example, this is just a general map of, to give you an idea of where the cursor is Nashville. So this is looking at upper middle Tennessee. And anywhere that you see the red color means broadband is available. So very briefly, you can look at and see that broadband is available, and you can scroll across the state of Tennessee and see that the areas and the pockets where broadband is, and more importantly, where broadband is not. So you can look at it in a number of different ways. So this is just looking at the served areas. So what if we wanted to look at where is coverage with one provider and where is coverage with multiple providers? So what now is showing anywhere in pink means that broadband is available by one provider, where it's in orange means that it's from multiple providers. So that's another thing that a lot of folks have asked me, that is broadband available, but is it available from multiple providers? So then you can start to do more analysis. So we can zoom in to a particular area and start looking and seeing what is available. And it'll refresh every time that you zoom in to show what's available and what's not available. One of the other ways to look at it, let it catch up with me, is by looking at the density of the areas that are unserved. What providers and what folks that are making funding decisions want to know is what's the impact of the dollars spent. So by looking at the density of the unserved areas, and that's what it's going to load now, is the density of those unserved areas, we can make those decisions on where can we get the best bang for our buck. So this is showing the density. So you can keep zooming in to a particular area and continue to see how many homes are in that particular area. So in this area right here, this represents over 85 homes per mile, per square mile. So you can see that there's a dense area there. Well, you want to learn as much as you can about that area. So you can even switch to a satellite view and look at it from a satellite standpoint to see exactly where are those homes located, and you can zoom down even further and look at those homes. But if you're wanting to see let me switch off that, what a larger impact broadband would have, you can look at a particular area, select the tool, and it'll tell you, it'll highlight all the census blocks in a particular area that you designate, so that you can look at, well, if I built out in this area, this is what I can expect on availability. This would be the number of homes that we would pass that are already served, and this is the number of homes that we would pass that are currently unserved. So,
how does all this tie into the National Broadband Plan?
In Tennessee, we have been working on mapping for some time. With the National Broadband Plan, it is asking for a number of factors that we haven't looked at yet. What Broadband Stat will allow us to do in Tennessee is to show those additional layers. But what Broadband Stack can also do is to display the same data that's being displayed in Tennessee for any state in the country or for the nation for that matter. So the areas where population is the lowest or where income is the lowest, that availability is the lowest. We can look at that to adoption. So the data that the FCC is collecting, the data that through the census, we can take all that data as a nation, piece it together, and try to come up with the best way to attack the unserved areas. And that's where it all starts to come together. That all the great technology that's here today, most of it's wanting the internet. Most of it needs the internet. And if you live in rural areas, in particular rural Tennessee, and broadband's not available, then all these great applications are not usable. So this allows us to know where those gaps are, know where those areas are, and make the best decision we can about addressing those areas.
What is Yahoo demonstrating today here?
Well, today we're demonstrating our ad interest manager and what we call clear ad notice. So Congress has been looking a lot at the issue of online privacy. Last year I testified in front of the Energy and Commerce Committee about this issue. So what we're trying to do is to give users better notice about what kinds of information are collected and used for online behavioral advertising and give them really meaningful choice over what categories are used and choice over whether they can opt out entirely of online behavioral advertising. And so that's what we're demoing here today.
And you mentioned two different technologies. What does each of them do specifically?
Well, so Clear Ad Notice starts out by giving users an icon and a label that comes with the ads. When ads are served online on various websites, with it will travel a label that the user can click on. It's actually a little icon. The user can click on that icon and find out who's serving that ad to them, and they can find out where they can opt out of behavioral advertising. And so with that opt-out choice, they can go to our ad interest manager that we unveiled actually in December of last year, and they can see the categories that we have about them, and they can either opt out of those selected categories, or they can opt out of all behavioral targeting categories from Yahoo. So we think that that's the kind of transparency and choice that users ultimately are looking for, that will give them more comfort with the whole process of behavioral advertising.
And why bring it to the Internet Caucus?
Well, the Internet Caucus, this is really all of the members and the staffers who are really interested in technology issues. This is a key technology issue that the Energy and Commerce Committee has looked at. So we want to let people know that industry self-regulation in this particular way can work, that we are one of the leaders in that space, and really let them know that industry is taking this very seriously.
That's it from the Congressional Internet Caucus event. If you want to watch this or other programs, go to our website, cspan.org.